All right, back at it again. Happy Monday. Also, happy Black History Month, which brings us to today's topic. I had a few people reach out to ask about being black and content creation, which is a topic I never thought, not never thought. It's a topic no one should ever have to talk about, but the circumstances dictate otherwise. The circumstances dictate otherwise. Because we can look back, you can look back a long time. You can look back, you know, generation upon generation upon generation, um, for hundreds of years now, and we are not where we were at, but we're not to our goal. And when you probably ask, well, what's the goal? The goal, my goal, not sure about your goal. My goal is that race is the last thing I have to mention about myself. But it affects how everyone sees you, or us in particular. And this is why we have a Black History Month. I don't. Hopefully, in the future, we won't need a Black History Month because it'll just be history. And some people, kind of rail against having Black History Month. I see the utility of it, but I hope one day we don't need it. So, being black in content creation. First off, if you've been around my content long enough, I don't say I'm black, because you can see me. By definition, I'm black. I don't go with black content creator, who does this. I'm a content creator who just happens to be black. Black is not my defining characteristic. I was like, it seems kind of strange because I say that during Black History Month. No. This is something this is something that's internal for me. Because if you go back to MLK's "I Have a Dream" speech, he wishes for a day. Not sure when that day is going to be, but people are not judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. My character, regardless of my skin color, should be how you judge me. Unfortunately, in this day and age, in this society, that's not how things work. And they haven't worked that way for a long time. When we talk about being black content creation, there will be opportunities and doors that are going to be closed and doors that will be open for you. And that may sound, to some people like, well, that's not true. You got a black president. You got guys that are playing sports, making billions of dollars. You got X, Y, and Z. And those are just exceptions to the rule. Because even though we had a black president, which is great, which is fantastic, that doesn't that doesn't fix anything. As you can see in the past 4 years, you could see just the the backlash of having a black president. Because to be judged, to be prejudged by the color of your skin, it happens all the time. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody that has a dark skin color. It happens to be if you happen to be from a Spanish-speaking country, in this country, or depending on where you're at, there are people that are gonna be prejudge, or they don't have prejudice against who you are, just by the definition of your genetics or your sexual orientation, etc., etc., etc. So when I approach my content, I don't lead off with, "I'm black and I draw." No, I draw, I design. I'm a philosopher, an artist, business owner, and I'm black. I don't want your support because I'm black. I want your support because you like what I do. Now, saying that, do I go out of my way to support the black content creators? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And you're like, well, doesn't that seem a little contradictory? Not exactly. I'll tell you why. Because as a whole, and when you're talking about black content creation and content creators that are black, there are a lot of doors that are are sealed for them. No matter the quality of the content, etc. But when we look at that, we have to understand that as a people, we don't know where we come from. I am the offspring of slaves and slave masters. We don't know our country of origin. We don't know our tribe. We don't know our language. We don't know our religion. We're just here in America. This is where this is our land, and we helped build it. So we helped build it. So there is no unifying factor besides us being just our skin color, and that we were brought here against our will. Now, as difficult as that may be to supporting the people around you who maybe have the same skin color, it is not an absolute. I like to support content creators who are black who do excellent things. So I still support people that are different skin colors as well, different sexual orientations. But it's kind of hard to make that balance. So when I approach my content, I don't approach it with let me list the things that are not of my choice. And then let me list the things that are what the content of my character is. No, look, you'll get the content of my character first before you get, I'm also straight, black, I'm going bald, I got a beard, I could choose to have a beard now, but I find those details less interesting in the long run. The same thing goes for anybody else, when somebody leads with things that are out of their control or their nationality, they may be very proud of it. And I support people's pride in where they come from. I am more than happy to say I'm proud to come from, Africa, to come from a people that have been, beaten, whipped, raped, pillaged. I to survive and come out of that and to make it this far, I'm proud that we could make it this far. We weren't completely annihilated. We're not still in bondage. It takes a lot of perseverance. Number one, a lot of perseverance and a lot of trauma. So there's a lot of mental strain that happens with the comfort being black. A lot of trauma, a lot of mental strain, a lot of things you have to deal with, other people have to deal with, and to bring that up to other people that are not black, they have a gut reaction. They feel viscerally repulsed by it sometimes. That was a long time ago. Yeah, but we're still, suffering the effects of it. We all have PTSD, but we don't admit we have PTSD. I'm looking for the day, and will probably all be dead. Because if you look just at my family, I will be 39 this year. My grandmother picked cotton, and her mother was a slave. My grandmother lived under Jim Crow, and she is still alive. So you can see it's a long time ago. Well, people still. There are some people that are in charge that were outside kicking people, in the face in the 60s. When you put it in that context, you're like, could that 80-year-old man really have, spit in a black man's face? It's a possibility. That kind of hate is hard to kill. That kind of prejudice is hard to kill. And we're still feeling it. We're going to be feeling it for a long time, unfortunately. So when it comes to being black in the space, and streaming and being the face of your brand, I don't incur much, too many racial epithets being thrown my way. Now, I will say this: I'm a straight black man, which, in the grand scheme of things, the smaller the group is, the more we separate ourselves. So if you're a straight black man, if you're gay, you're going to get something else. If you're a straight, or not straight, if you're a black trans, you're going to have another layer of just hate thrown your way. So this is coming from, depending on how you see things. I have it easier than a lot of the people, and that's a shame. It's a shame that we are still, taking time out of our days to address who we are and why people are against us for that. The prejudices involved, and how I present myself is important. It's almost like a layer of invulnerability, a layer of invincibility when it comes to my race. Because there's nothing someone can say online that is going to change, number one, how I feel. Number two, who I am. Number three, make me scared. My dad was in the Black Panthers in Detroit. He was like not a full-fledged member, but he was part of the organization. So I get a lot of pride, and I get a lot of insight into what it takes and where we've come in the past 50, 60 years, and where I am now, and what we see every day. So I present myself not putting on airs to appease an audience of a different skin color. That is incorrect. I'm black. Black when I woke up. Black when I go to sleep. Black when I was born. And I'm gonna die black. But I'm more than black. I'm bigger than black. I'm bigger than my ethnicity. I'm bigger than my nationality. Now, I acknowledge that I'm black. And I'm proud of it. That's important. It's very important. So when I say I have a layer of invulnerability, a layer of invincibility, I'm gonna put it like this: when we're in this space, there are people who still see you as less than due to the nature of the color of your skin. And that will extend into any opportunity that may or may not be in your path. When someone says, I don't want to work with you, and we find later it's because of your skin color, I'm like, good. When I find out somebody wants to work with me because of my skin color and not because of my skill, I don't want to work with them. I don't want you to work with me just because I'm black. I want you to work with me because I have a greater skill level than anybody else in my field. And that's what I mean when I say I want to be bigger than being black. But I'm proud of being black. So that's how I approach my blackness. Now, we're in Black History Month. Exciting, right? We're in Black History Month, and we have on Twitch, we have, a Black Excellence content creator section. And I have been scrolling through, and I have been finding quite a number of. I've been having a lot of fun. I have been having a lot of fun. So I wholeheartedly, black, white, but just scroll through the section. I do the same thing when there's a different ethnicity up. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just roll to see what's going on, because everyone's cultures I find is interesting to me. And when you say black culture, it can mean anything, because black culture is pretty much anything we put our hands on. Because we have there's no country of origin. There's a country of origin, but if you just say, like, who here still celebrates any holidays that we celebrated in Africa, if there are any holidays, or any of our ancestors' holidays. Even Kwanzaa, I think, was invented here. So everything we do is kind of like we've take and kind of mold it to fit our needs. So our culture is like, it's floating, it's amorphous, it's a cloud, it can't be nailed down like our speech, like Ebonics. It can't be quantified or measured. It's just a byproduct of being. So trying to document it is almost an impossible task. But we still try to do it. People still try to do it. So, which is good. That's good. I like the record. I like to let the record reflect. But this is a good time to brush up on your Black history, which a lot of it, growing up in middle school, high school, elementary, they don't really teach a lot of quote unquote Black history. You get like a general like washing, like a few Black inventors and stuff like that, but we don't really get a good deep dive on in the context of what's going on around them at the time. So I hope you guys can step out, watch a documentary, pick up a book, watch a 10-minute YouTube clip. Understand that while we're celebrating Black history, don't be threatened by it. We're not looking for what some people call Black supremacy, because that's going to be a possibility. There will never be, in my lifetime, there will never be any Black supremacy, because we are a small part of the population. We don't have that much power. We only want equality. We only want equality. Equality in education, equality in justice, equality financially. But we can't get to that point until we admit we have a problem. You can't cure cancer until you accept the diagnosis. So, this is Black Khan, coming from the Black Channel, with the black content, with the black coffee. Wish you a happy Black History Month. Yeah. Get your guess tonight. Hope that was helpful for anybody out there. On how you well, how you manage, your race and being in the public eye. Catch you guys next week.